the true meaning of awakened and enlightened. So, I've recently been hearing this word, awakened, awakening experience, and enlightened people, very commonly used, but I have different opinion on it, and I'll give you a perspective both on the current opinion as well as what I believe is the correct opinion in order to correct the viewpoint on these two terms. So that's what I will be discussing in today's videos. For those who like the contents of my videos, please don't forget to also like and subscribe to my channel. This will greatly help my channel to be able to reach out to more people. And if I could ask you just one optional extra favor, if you can drop a comment and share it with just one other person or your favorite social media channel, this will greatly help my channel even more, and I would very highly appreciate that, both from me and my channel. But more importantly, I want to thank each and every one of you for the precious time that you are spending in honoring me by watching my videos. A very big thank you for that. So, for those of you who don't know me, I am Osman, hashtag the blind Muslim yogi. I am a bioenergy healer on a master level with telepathic healing capabilities, specializing in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, amongst a host of other physiological, psychological, uh, and spiritual ailments. Amazing offer. 10-minute anxiety fix for $5. It's less than the price of a Starbucks coffee, and delivered to you instantly, telepathically, anywhere globally, um, and pay only after you are satisfied. This goes for all my treatment protocols. And for contact information, visit my website yogawellness786.com. I'm also an advanced level yoga and meditation teacher, having been practicing this art form for almost 50 years and teaching for 44 years. In that period, I've had the great privilege and honor to study under many great masters from different schools of thought, from different cultures across the globe, from the Far East, the Middle East, the West, including the scientific communities. And what I've done in that period is I've taken the best of everything that I've learned and created my own unique protocols, but adapted it for the 21st century, basically making it simpler, faster, easier, quicker, more time efficient, and results oriented. To that end, I now have students in over 100 countries. And my favorite protocol is my 5-minute yoga and meditation protocol, which you can download for free by visiting my website yogawellness786.com. And also remember that my therapies are all natural based and not a replacement for medical treatment. Um, Coming back, commonly when people say awakened is when they have some type of out of ordinary or spiritual or mystical experience. So, usually relating to like a near death experience, but more often and more frequently, a type of or a version of a Kundalini awakening, like a surge of power, or suddenly they may see, lights, or feel a surge of energy in the body, or may even see or believe that they've seen, mystical frequencies, um, or things that are not visible, to other humans. And it could include, like, in meditational experiences, surge of energy, or seeing, different lights during the energy itself. And also, to some extent, some people have something called an inner inner conjunction. This is where they go into an extreme state of bliss or the Samadhi experience temporarily for a few seconds or a minute or two. And then in that experience, It is an explosive level of energy and ecstasy, as well as they feel like a surge of knowledge, uh, you know, uh, like enlightening them for a few seconds, right? So these are all types of experiences that people commonly term these days, in my opinion, as awakening experience, or they say I've awakened, and then when they meditate and so forth, they start feeling surge of energy. So I disagree with that. And secondly, they call an enlightened person someone, generally it relates to someone whose third eye is open or whose seventh chakra is well established, right? So the third eye is usually in the sixth chakra, or the sixth energy center point between the forehead. When when it becomes fully opened, um, then the person is able to see past, present, future, and also think at a speed exponentially, I'll stress, exponentially faster than the average speed of the human. Maybe 10 times faster, could be 100 times faster, even 1,000 times faster is even what I know. Is it's very fast. You can understand things so quickly and know everything. When you just look at someone, you just know everything about that person, the past, present, future, and answers, or you can tap into the knowledge of people, or of things very quickly. You can absorb knowledge very easily, very quickly. That is one level. The second level is when the next chakra, which is more difficult, the seventh chakra becomes established. When that chakra becomes established, then the person, his consciousness starts widening, where he becomes inclusive, depending on how much he practices, because it increases in radius, like his aura increases more and more as he continues to practice. So maybe his aura is the size of the room, for example. And then as he's becoming more and more established, it could be the size of a hall or size of the small town, right? So when as the aura is increasing in diameter, he whatever is within the diameter of the aura, him being the center of it, he will experience as himself, as inclusive. Which means if there are three people, his aura is in the size of this room, and there are three people in this room, he won't feel any difference between himself and the three people. The whatever is in the three people's mind, thoughts, it's as if it's his thoughts. And that person's body, if you touch that person, a third person, he will feel it as if he is getting touched. If someone is hungry, he will feel the hunger. If someone is getting a slap, he will feel that slap in the room. If someone's got a painful left foot, he'll feel the pain, right? Because he'll feel it as, even including the trees and the animals that are around him, right? All the conscious beings, and depending on the intensity of his progress, you will even feel, the soil and the objects around him, right? Everything, he'll be conscious of everything within the radius, of the aura, 360 degrees around him, right? So this type of person is also considered as an enlightened person. When you talk to the person, he seems to have a lot of knowledge, and of course, has blissful experiences regularly, and is generally in a state of ecstasy, and people revere him and worship him, and because he knows things that is like it's like unimaginable how he understands things, and has so much of knowledge, and has access to all knowledge. There's no question that he cannot answer. So with this as well, I disagree that this is an enlightened person. This is not, in my opinion, an enlightened person. So let's come step by step, right? Let's work with um, an awakened person. An awakened person, I would say, is someone that people now sometimes term enlightened, right? So we would say that person is awakened because now he can see, any distance, and he can absorb knowledge better, and he's got the tools in order to advance in his spiritual development, and he needs to use these tools, this additional ability which the people call, enlightened, to increasing his knowledge by going through, I would say, all the knowledge that is available in the scriptures, and involved um, in establishing his connection with the source of creation, right? Not with the creative energy, because he's connected to the creative energy. He'll understand what is the creative energy. He's able to see the energetic world. Um, I mean, at the awakened stage, sorry, I'm confusing enlightenment. So on the awakened stage, he can start to see because his third eye is open, right? And that's level one of awaken. And level two of awaken is when his seventh chakra becomes completely established, and his consciousness raises from here to there, and which is not very easy. People can spend decades, with the third eye open, and they unable to go beyond that. But it's not that it's unable, it's a very long process, to go from the six to seven. Each chakra to go one level up takes longer and longer and longer, right? And when he goes to the seventh level, he becomes more conscious, super conscious. He's now in the super conscious state, that he just cannot just see past, present, future, but he can view the whole world in its true form and energetic form, and he can see the processes, the energetic processes that are happening in everyone, and understanding things in a much more exponentially higher way, and his capacity to connect with the causal energy, not with the creative, not the source of creation. So you get the source of creation, and then you get the cosmic energy, right? So the energy is the active principle of the causal energy, right? The created, the cause of creation, right? Because we won't say causal energy. The source of creation is not energy. It's beyond energy, cannot be perceived with any senses. There's no bliss in it, no energy in it, no light, nothing, right? Because all these are creations. Light is creation, energy is creation, ecstasy, bliss, all these are creations, right? The source of creation is beyond what is created, is uncreated. So, how every person actually experiences the source of creation every night when you go into deep sleep. And in the very early stages of meditation experiences, before you become awakened, in my opinion, right? When you meditate and you feel an elapse of time that you cannot account for. So you're sitting, like maybe you want to sit for your daily, let's say 1 hour meditation, right? Which is a common practice amongst advanced students, right? Daily 1 hour. Although I disagree with that, I believe it should be a minimum 3 hours, right? So 1.5 hours is considered in yogic cycles as a unit of time. When you are in the advanced level, it takes at least 1 unit of time to warm up and establish your connection, and settle everything within yourself to become more connected with uh, the energy, or the causal energy, or the cosmic energy. So it establishes a stronger connection, because you're going from your individual consciousness to universal consciousness. You want to connect with the universal consciousness. It's a very big step. So you're just taking 1 unit of time. So, from a universal perspective, this is not a long space of time. It's just 1 unit, like 1 second for, in terms of universal standards, right? or the universal energy, perspective, because you are looking at things in a very micro perspective. Imagine you're looking at the planet Earth as a small little blue spot from far away in the, not very far away, because you can't even see the Earth when you're too far away from the planet Earth, but distant away within the galaxy, still within. See it like a little blue spot, right? And when you look at the vastness of the universe, then you understand, and that it's been going for millions of years, if not billions, right? We don't know how long it's been going on, right? There's various theories and proposals, and some say just thousands, some say hundreds of thousands, some say millions, some say billions, right? So who knows, right? What the actual is, but the vastness is very big. So just one unit is 1.5 hours is a unit of time, right? So you need one. I'm also speaking from my own experience. You need, when I meditated, I'm not telling all of you to meditate that, right? In the beginning, you just start with 2 minutes. I'm talking about the advanced students who supposedly are awakened and who are enlightened, right? Minimum 3 hours. So 1 unit to warm up, 1 unit to uh, you know uh, experience the connection, to stay connected and recharge yourself, basically to get recharged, right? And I'm a bioenergy healer on an advanced level, right? On a master level. And sometimes I'm healing. My healing sessions are usually 90 minutes long, right? And I had to cut that down because people, my patients don't have patience, right? They don't have patience for 1 unit of time. They're in a hurry. 1.5 hours is too long for them. So I cut it down to an hour, and I even made shorter, like a 30-minute and a 10-minute protocol, right? Because some people, they can't, sit that long or wait that long, right? But it's incorrect. The correct is 1 unit of time. So when I was originally, doing my a few years ago, then I was doing it the correct way, and I said, irrespective of the people, let me do at least the correct, at least 1 unit of time, right, which is 90 minutes. And after doing about 14 hours, back to back healing, and in each session, I'm giving all of my energy from my body into that person and really getting drained out. So after 14 hours, I feel like really, because I meditate for a long time and absorb a lot of energy. I've got enough to, go for that 14 hours before I become empty. A normal person in 5 minutes will become empty, right? Leave alone 14 hours. But when I sit and meditate for in 20 minutes, I'm recharged enough to be able to go another 14 hours, right? So this is because I'm practicing for, meditation for many decades. I can fast forward, the experience, the downloading experience. But when we actually sitting in meditation, I mean, try to spend at least 2 units of time, so this is actually a standard practice. And once people, seventh chakra is awakened, they feel that they've reached the superconscious state and they are now enlightened beings, and they don't need to meditate so much, right? And usually these people, you won't find them meditating often. It's quite common to find people with the seventh chakra, open. They're very busy with many things, and hardly a few minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, in a day to meditate. And this is incorrect, because this is not, they're not on any, that is not enlightenment level. So coming back to awakened, so the initial experience is what people call awakened, not awakened. You just had a taste, and to encourage you to now become consistent in an established practice. Now it gives you that opportunity that, of course, minimum is 20 minutes every day is a must. If you don't, once you have the awakening, the so-called awakening experience, I would say, mm, initialization experience, right? It's your spirituality has become initialized, and it can get dormant. If you don't do any practice, it can go dormant again. You can lose it. You can lose everything. But you become like a magnet to negative energy, because the light is awakened in you. So the universe feels that you can absorb the negative energy of all the people, that you meet or that you think about. Even you don't meet the people, you think of anyone, immediately you are connected to that person, and obviously the other person will be more negatively, imbalanced than you, because you are awakened, right? I mean, or you are an initialized, right? So all that energy, and if you don't meditate regularly, at least, once a day, 20 minutes, and recommended before, at the end of the day, at least 5 to 10 minutes to unpack all that negativity that's keep, because you are like a magnet attracting negativity. Then your life will be upside down. You will only be experiencing negativity. You'll be having financial difficulties. Your relationships will not be working. You always problem, a lot of health problems, a lot of pain, because so much of negativity is coming. You're absorbing all the negative energy of everyone. It exhibits itself as negative symptoms, the the different aspects of your life, in terms of your state of mind, your relationships, your social network, your financial stability. So all these will get negatively impacted if you're not practicing. It is absolutely compulsory. You do minimum, at least 20 minutes in the morning, and it's not enough. You have to do that 3 hours in the morning, and in the evening, like about 15, 20 minutes, 20 minutes in the evening, I would say, to cleanse yourself uh, of all the negativity that you are 24/7 attracting to yourself like a magnet, whether you're sitting alone in a cave or you're sitting, in public. Because if you can be in the cave, away, physically away from people, but when you think of people or think of anything, you're attracting the negative energy of those things, right? Even by thought, you're thinking it is actually a misconception in your mind that distance physically is going to make a difference. Yes, it make a slight difference, in the sense, not that you withdrawn from the negative energy. You may be going to a place where there is more positive energy, and you absorb the positive energy of that environment. Maybe you're in a forest or in a tranquil area, near an amazing river or stream or an ocean, or open space of land where there is tranquility. So you can absorb more tranquility, in that. So you become more energized. You have also not only absorbing negative energy, also absorbing positive energy, right? But the people who's called awakened, they're not awakened, they just initialize. You become awakened once your third eye opens, and you can think at an exponentially faster speed and absorb knowledge better. And it doesn't just open fully immediately, it opens in gradations, where you'll see that your capacity to understand higher philosophies and nuanced things, the finer things of life, or the finer details of music. You can appreciate, the nuances of poetry and literature and music and paintings and so forth. You're starting because you are already, initialized. And the third eye, your intuitive center, is starting to develop with practice of some form of um, mystical tool like yoga or tai chi or meditation, right? Tai Chi is also very helpful, in developing your overall energetic body, right? Because you have 114 energy centers in the body. By default, everyone has about 26 that are active. And once you are initialized, you have the opportunity to activate the others through spiritual sadhana or spiritual daily discipline practices, right? For a certain period of time. But you are not designed to be sitting 24/7. Just in the morning before before people wake up, you spend like 3 hours to meditate, for someone who's spiritually initialized, and in the evening about 15, 20 minutes before you go to bed, to unpack all before you go to sleep. And then you continue that cycle on a daily basis. If you can adopt breath work, kriya, and hatha yoga is very important. It'll balance your energies, right? for those who are initialized and those who are not initialized. Still, you balance your energies, right? Because you still have 26 power centers that are active. You need to balance all these energies. And in order to have a more equanimous life, you find you're becoming calmer, you're more in the alpha state, and things around you starting to work out for you. You know, your relationships will be more substantive, your progress in your career, in your academics, and all that, even for normal people, but just by practicing hatha yoga or tai chi, one of these two, or just breath work, right? Will help you. So breath work is a little bit more advanced in that it cleanses blockages in your subtle pathways, right? I don't want to go into all those details. I'm just going to stick to what is awakening and what is enlightenment, right? So when the third eye opens fully, you will it is, a lot of people say it's not an eye, you can't see through it. But these are people haven't yet developed it fully, right? When it's fully developed, it is an eye. You can see, like how you can close your eyes and you can see with that eye, right? And it can see 360 degrees. You don't need light. It can be in total darkness and the person can see. Whether the light is on or off, you can still see, right? Like everything is like twilight, right? There is no darkness at all after that. Nighttime is not dark. Pitch black is not pitch black. You can see like twilight everywhere. Like cat eyes, right? You can see like an owl, right? With that eye, and can see past, present, future, and the rate at which you can absorb knowledge is higher. Now you need to increase knowledge because you're going to go to the next level on the seventh and think you are enlightened. And even people with the third eye open also call themselves enlightened, some of them. This is not enlightenment. So you need to increase your knowledge, because when you have enlightenment experiences, you will understand better how to deal with these experiences and not mistake those experiences for enlightenment. Yes, you go into samadhi experiences. Yes, you get connected with the entire cosmic universal energy. Yes, you feel total bliss, ecstasy, and knowledge. You start to gain knowledge of everything when you're in that connection experience, in the samadhi experience, right? So you eventually can remain in samadhi for long periods of time, and be able to transform your body into the energy body, and then into the light body. When your light body starts to develop, your physical body becomes so light, you'll float and you'll bounce up and hit the ceiling, right? Physically that will happen. Then your light body is active, right? When you become established in the samadhi experience. This is still not enlightenment, my friend. Enlightenment is someone who spends time in gathering knowledge, the basic knowledge from some angle or multiple angles, right? From either a philosophical, and philosophies and normal philosophies of average people haven't got it. It has to be something from a higher level, from a higher frequency. And these are usually in scriptures, right? Like the Bible, the Vedanta, the Siddhanta scriptures, and you also get like the Quran, which I believe, I'm a Muslim, right? It's this thing. You will understand what is between the lines, between the words, between each alphabet. You look at one alphabet, so much of information just in one alphabet, right? It is not normal alphabets. The scriptures are not normal words. Yes, it's written in a language, so you have to also go to the original languages, right? So they say that the Sanskrit is the original language, of the Vedic scriptures. I don't know, right? It goes deeper because you need to go behind what that is, the source of knowledge, and gain connection with knowledge itself. It is so vast, the knowledge is unlimited. And people get like a small drop of that knowledge, and then they call themselves enlightened. This is not enlightenment. Enlightenment is when you realize that knowledge is so vast and you already got all the knowledge that is available, in the earth, that the humans have. You've got all that knowledge, that is nothing. Like how the planet earth is just a blue speck when you're not even very far away. You're just in the galaxy a little bit backward, right? You're not even at the next planet, right? And you look at the Earth, you can just see it like a blue speck, right? Just a little distance away, right? Imagine when you start looking at things, knowledge, and now the knowledge that we have is in that small speck, only in that Earth, in little books, right? That's occupying it and written there. Yes, it has connection to higher, but the knowledge is very vast. You get to understand the vastness. So then the big thing is when people connect with the cosmic energy, and some people can see the form of the energetic nature, right? There's different energetic natures, and they all have mystical forms, and they start confusing this for God, or representations of God, and they even connect with the cosmic energy and see the form of the energy, and they call this God. Once you can see something, no matter how highly elevated your sixth chakra, seventh chakra, it is just you understand your respect. That seventh chakra is nothing. So I was fortunate. I studied under amazing teachers. They said the seventh chakra awakening superconscious state is only level 1. There's 99 levels above that. It can take eons to go from one level to the next, to the next, to next. No one can even calculate. But once you're in the seventh chakra, why they call that like the goal is, after that you don't need the physical human body anymore. Even if it perishes, you can continue with that, with your spirit body, to continue to meditate and advance. So you can sit in meditation now for thousands of years, because those bodies last much longer, or they are, when you attain the light body is eternal. So first is the energy body, and the energy body is like an aura slightly above you, and then the light body is above that, right? And the light body is eternal, the energy body is not eternal, right? Theoretically, the theory says it lasts for around 500 cosmic years, not human years. So one of those years is equivalent to 1,000 human years, right? I think one cosmic day is equivalent to 1,000 years in our calculation, right? One day, right? So let's take, for example, Jesus has ascended, went to heaven, right? For those who don't believe there's such a thing as Jesus, or that he ascended to heaven and will be returning, I respect that. But for those of you who do believe, and this is a perspective, and I accept this perspective, that Jesus ascended into the heavens, and he said he will return. From Jesus' perspective, he's experiencing in the realm. 2 days is 2,000 years for us. So it's like just over 2,000 years, since the after the death of Christ, or the ascension of Christ. And the experience in his dimension is experiencing just, but he, of course, he's got all knowledge. He knows that 2,000 years is what we are experiencing, but time goes very fast, right? And goes, it calculated differently, right? So 500 such years, not days, such years, is the theoretically the energetic body, and then you get the light body, which is 1,000 such years, right? But in a higher dimension, and I think the calculation is like mind-boggling. We can't even imagine, right? And but it allows you to develop higher and higher, and you acquire higher and higher bodies. So we only know the energy body, the light body. We don't know all the other quantum bodies, right? Quantum physics has found 11 dimensions, right? That we on earth are living in the third dimension, and so forth. So what is an enlightened person? Actually, I don't know. No one can call himself enlightened. Means you got the light. There's no such person as an enlightened person, right? I believe that is not possible, right? But you can have a realization that the knowledge is so vast, and that God is not possible to conceive by your mind, because God is someone who created the energy. If you experience cosmic energy, it's a creation of or what we call God. So we're just saying God like a singular person, like it's a masculine, no masculine, no feminine, right? No body and no form, not form, not formless, not, you can't conceive, inconceivable, right? So it's like a non-experience, right? But personality, because the creation of all that exists may, in a very rare few people, expose himself in a communication through signs, because we have a construct, we have a mind, we need signs to, because we have to read with the alphabets, we can't we need sound to communicate. We can't communicate by thought yet, right? Higher frequencies communicate by thought. It's a much more efficient way of communication, by the way, right? So it's a means you get signs from God that there is a God, but people mistake some of the signs to be God. But they say, okay, there's no difference between the name of God and God, between the words of God, and between the form of God and God, between his incarnation or his son, or his prophets, and all this. No, this is not God, right? Enlightened, there is no enlightenment. There is just awakened. You awaken when you know, and you've got the taste and experience of what is God, and full of love and mercy, and is connected to you 24/7, right? There's no need now, where's God, and I want to see. Is unseeable. How can you see the unseeable, right? How can you experience the unexperiencable, right? Cannot be experienced, right? This is an awakened person. Enlightened, there's no enlightenment, right? Anyone call himself enlightened? This is not a, he thinks is enlightened. You're just a little speck in the think of that, right? So I hope that information helps you. Take care of yourself always.